Yep.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is a lovely day. A little bit cloudy. You can see there. Actually, really cloudy. I don't see any blue sky at all, but it's not raining. That's good. So I am back back inside Skagit Valley. Last time I was here was I want to say December, and there's still snow on the ground and all that. And then I haven't been back since. Been doing other stuff. My friend Rob Wilson, he's gonna meet me later. We're gonna do a little physical distance camping. There's actually some people, you guys might recognize the spot if you've seen the previous video. I was actually camped in the woods in there, but there's somebody in there right now, which is totally fine because we're only here for one night, because Rob and I were gonna go paddle Skagit River? A river. I think it's Skagit River. That way. We're gonna go and check that out tomorrow. So we're only here for one night and then we're moving because we have to shuttle the trucks. So I got some firewood here. This is a lovely little creek. Yola Creek, I think it's called. Let me show you guys. Beautiful little creek. Look how clear this water is. Problem is that people are just real pigs, leaving the garbage. So I got my garbage bag here. I'm just about to put my gloves on and pick some stuff up. There's definitely a little bit of mosquitoes here, but not nearly as bad as Owl Creek, which is a few videos ago where I had to abandon camp. But I'm gonna pick up all the garbage here, process the firewood, and then get a fire started. So maybe the smoke will keep the mozzies away.
Trouble it comes and goes, trouble it finds a way, and I'm ready, yes I'm ready. Trouble it knows my name, trouble knows where I stay, and I'm living, yes I'm living. Tell me everything, tell me everything, tell me everything, gonna be keep on keeping on. Worry don't do a thing, worry won't steal my day, so I'm hoping.
So I got a new piece of gear today. You guys probably see me cook on my Eureka. I can't remember the model, but it's made by Eureka, the round barbecue with the grill thing. It's a really cool barbecue actually, or cool grill, because it's got the cast iron griddle, or the cast iron grill portion that you can just throw on top of a fire, which I really like. And then when you take that off, you can also there's a stainless steel, I guess a rack that you can just put your kettle on, or your frying pan, which is what I've been using it with. When it's been really hot and I can't really cook over a fire. I just don't want to cook over a fire. So, but the problem is that cast iron grill portion, for some reason, I can't, for the life of me, get it to season properly. I stripped it down to bare metal twice, using some methods I found on YouTube that worked on everything else. Seasoned it with oil, put it in the oven, 500 degrees, etc. Yeah, it just wasn't working. It just kept rusting. So anyway, took it back to Mountain Equipment Co-op, which has got a rock solid guarantee. So basically take it back and say, look, this isn't working for me. And I traded it in, upgraded it to, and I say upgrade it because this was more expensive, to a Jetboil Genesis, or Jetboil Genesis 2, I think. So this is a double burner little stove, very compact, which I like. and basically flips open, and there is 2 burners, which is kind of nice. You can make 2 things at the same time. Just uses your standard 1 pound green propane fuel bottle, which I already have anyways. So I thought I'd give this a shot. So what I lose is the ability to have a cast iron grill that I can throw on top of a fire, but I just might get a different rack that I can, if I want to grill a steak or bacon or anything over fire, I just have to come up with something else. But in the meantime, this is not rusting. So I'm gonna make dinner with this tonight. Well, it's starting to
get out. Although we picked an awesome rainy weekend.
You guys, this is my favorite park ranger. That's not true, because Katie's really awesome too.
Katie is really awesome.
Yeah.
I wish she was cool.
You guys, this is Rob Wilson. He's with BC Parks.
Hey,
but he's not here on park anything. He's just having fun with me. We've been trying to do this for a long time.
Yeah, way too long.
Yeah, look at his setup. That is amazing. I love Batwing. So, Rob is he works for BC Parks, as well as he's a hunting and firearms instructor, which is really cool. So he's a good guy to have in the backcountry, because if I get a sliver, that's the guy. I was going to cook this over the fire because the fire's heating up really nice, but then it started raining. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm hiding underneath this thing. So I think these are lamb chops. Got some garlic in there, and we're just cooking in a frying pan. I got a baked potato sitting in the fire over there, and that's totally fine. I'll bring that over in a bit. That's probably done already. And got a Caesar salad to go with this. And yeah, so I'm assuming Rob's got some fancy
Steak on a stick?
Steak on a stick.
I don't know, about 4,000 kilometers on my latest adventure.
Oh, yeah.
And used it for about half an hour. One camping trip with Henry, and here we go.
Yeah. Well, I didn't, to be honest, like the forecast said it might be showers late into the evening, but it was looking not too bad earlier, and now it's coming down. So. And
this afternoon, it's supposed to be improving tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah, I think the rest of the weekend will be fine.
Look at this alignment.
Wow.
This is amazing.
Look at that, one shot. Look at that.
Social distancing awning.
That's right, everybody gets their own awning. This is my awning, that's his awning. Don't touch my awning. So check out Rob's fancy little, look at my dinner. I've got some lamb chops, they're all ready. Got a Caesar salad, that's romaine lettuce from my garden, potato from my garden as well. Lambs is not from my garden, but look at his setup here. Oh, look at that dinner.
It's okay.
Oh, ho. Nothing wrong with that. He's got the fancy little setup. You guys can see that there. He's got the pull-out drawer with the grill. Right, man, that's nice. Dinner time, guys. Oh yeah, I'm hungry now. Let's eat. Good morning, everyone. It is a misty morning to our trip. Had a good evening last night. Fireside chat. Rob told stories about how he fought bears barehanded and
got the scars to prove it.
Yeah. So we're just gonna have breakfast, decide on our plan, and then we're definitely gonna move camp because. So we're on the road again, and now we're gonna go check out a few points of interest. I don't think we're gonna paddle today, just because it's not very nice out. Although the further south we go towards Ross Lake, it really opens up, and you could actually be in a completely different weather system, just the way it works here in the mountains. Anyways, we're gonna go and have a look at a few points of interest, and I think it'll be fun. So this is actually one of the first launch point, and guys launch from the other side right over there, and Rob just said there's a couple of packrafts right underneath us, but I can't see them. But that's what we would be floating down. Yeah, the weather's actually not looking too bad. I wouldn't mind actually getting in the water. Going for a little walk in the bush. So what are we looking at here, Mr. Rob?
Well, this is pretty cool. This is the site of a historic gold mining settlement. It was probably here for just a couple of years. This is one of 3 old kind of villages in Skagit Valley Park: Steamboat Village, Steamboat Springs, and Steamboat. And this is one of them. And all we can see is moss in front of us, is rocky. This is the base. This would be probably the packed earth floor for one of the cabins right here.
So how would you, like, how would somebody would have recognized, like, I'm not, like, I would not recognize this. So
yeah.
how...
And neither would I. I was fortunate enough to have someone tell me that this was the site.
I see.
You can see kind of the deteriorated remains of one of the base logs, probably for the cabin here.
Right.
Pretty interesting to think how this was 100 years ago. Yeah, there's stuff all around here, but I find this interesting. We don't think about how long our garbage lasts out here in the wilderness. And check this out. So here's an old tin can from 100 years ago. You can see where it's being cut open. But the interesting thing is, I think they sealed it with lead at the bottom of it. I think that's a little dot of lead here. And this tin can, 100 years old, just lying out here in the middle of nowhere. People's garbage lasts a long time. Looks like a bear's been hanging out here though.
There's like another one of those sealed lead deals.
See all these flipped over rocks?
Yeah.
That's probably a bear.
Yeah.
Running through your feet.
Looking for like ants and
yep.
whatever grubs, right?
Yeah. 2 logs.
Yeah, just a little. It's interesting. That's not a modern can. This is old.
Check this out. This one's garbage dump.
Yeah, but that's old, right? Because there's all that lead seal.
Yeah.
I wonder how that would work. I'd have to look that up to see how that old school canning was made.
It can't be good for you.
Yeah, no kidding. There's a few mosquitoes out here.
What?
What?
In the Skagit?
Who said that?
Mosquitoes.
Oh, Jesus. Well, so here we are at Ross Lake. And Rob has to go and talk to his staff for a minute. But check out this lake.
All of which are away. Yeah.
Like they also float.
That's the BC Parks campground, and this is the day use area. So we're going to leave Rob's truck here. We're going to load his gear into ours, put a mask on, and then we're going to go back to the launch point. We're all loaded up here. We're in our paddling gear, leaving this main camera behind and just grabbing the chest GoPro. Hopefully we get some good footage. Rob's got his back there. I've got mine. I'm going to open it up and double check everything's in it, because otherwise it would be quite silly to arrive. It would be quite silly to arrive after a kilometer walk to the woods there to discover, oh no.
Like you forgot your paddle or something?
This is, yeah, exactly. All right, here we go, guys. What do you think, guys? Is this a pretty spot? Is this pretty? What do you think? Apparently goats kind of winter up there, summer up there. Is that a goat? Spring
and fall.
Look at that little peak. Can you guys see that? That's kind of cool, eh?
I like that green patch up near that'll be on the flank of Silvertip Mountain.
Yeah. So we're both of us, we've just put all of our awnings out. And Maggie, what are you doing up there? Jeez. Both. Daisy, get off of there. Daisy, off. Jesus, Daisy. My God, can you guys see her? Oh, Christ. Come on. Get out of there. Oh my God. Crazy dogs. Jesus. Anyways, we're putting all of our awnings out. I'm gonna actually unpack the pack raft because everything is soaking wet. It didn't like piss rain, but it drizzled like the entire night. And you can see, yeah, it's always a good idea to dry your awnings out. Can you guys see the moisture? You can see that, right? Soaking wet. Well, we have just a lovely evening. A little bit bugs here, but nothing like down at Ross Lake where we're just getting eaten alive there. So we got some firewood processed. There's the firewood, and we're all ready with our kindling right there. Rob is getting his camp kitchen all set up. Look at that beautiful little camp kitchen. I got so this is like my new stove that I showed you guys yesterday. There's the jet boil. It's a little bit windy right here, but oddly enough, they only give you one wind block. Obviously, I'm gonna have some heat loss, but that's all right. Grilling the sausages here. I'm gonna got a pasta thing I'm making as well too. There's 2 stoves. That's kind of cool. Basically, there's no link. There's just a fuel bottle on the one side, and I guess there must be a fuel bar in here. And yeah, there we go. It's looking good. Looks like a lovely evening. Look at those beautiful peaks right behind me there. That's nice, eh? What a great evening. I like the little bit of wind. It's keeping the bugs away. Here's the lamb chop left over from last night. Some apple chicken sausage, I think it is. And the onions from my garden. Some leftover raviolis. Pretty cool. Mr. Rob here. Oh, look at that.
Hey.
Tender. Just tender. Looking good.
That's gonna be yummy.
Look at these guys here begging for food, licking their chops.
Can't say I blame them. Pretty sweet to have a couple dogs to greet you in the morning.
Yeah. With a pre-breath. Well, folks, what a lovely, lovely morning. We've had our coffee, had our breakfast, and this is kind of the end of our trip. So, one thing that I want to do going forward in some of my videos, I won't do it in every single video, but when it's appropriate, what I was thinking of doing is adding a little segment at the end of the video, and we'll call it pro tips, right? Sort of maybe it's information that's helpful to somebody who's just starting out in their own adventure and so on. So this is the first one that I'm doing today, and super appropriate that during our adventure on this particular trip, I have Rob Wilson with me here. And I'll let Rob introduce himself. He's got way too many little letters behind his name for me to know them all. So I'll let Rob introduce himself.
Hey gang, how's it going? Hope you're enjoying this video so far. My name's Rob Wilson. I'm a search and rescue volunteer. I've been with search and rescue for 24 years now as a volunteer, and on a variety of different search and rescue teams in British Columbia. I work as a park ranger, so I help manage parks on behalf of the province, and my advice here today isn't advice that comes to you from BC Parks, but just comes to you based on my knowledge, skills, and experience in the wilderness environment. And I'm also a hunting and firearms instructor for a company called Eat Well, which is a company that helps people connect with their food and get out into the wilderness environment.
So sitting around the camp this morning, we're chit-chatting about sort of various shenanigans that people get up to. So I asked Rob to maybe share with us, if you were just getting out with your own adventure, so whether it's walking down the trail 20 feet to go to the bathroom, or to go mountain biking, to go car, truck camping, maybe tenting, what have you, what are some of the common things that you should know to either bring with you, to do, to carry? Like, what are some of the top things, top 1, 2, 3, like whatever. So Rob has some great things that, and one of which I didn't even know. So I'll let you get in on it. You mentioned sure. Trip planning as sort of like the biggest thing. So why don't we start with that?
Sure. Yeah. So for us, when we're out on our adventures, doesn't matter what adventure you're on, whether you're four-wheeling, heading out on a mountain bike adventure, paddling down a river like Henry and I just did, or just driving literally up a Forest Service road to go camping for the night. We really want to make sure that you file a trip plan. So filing a trip plan is not difficult these days. There's lots of tools that you can utilize to complete your trip plan. But what you're doing is you're providing a responsible party with information regarding the activity that you're going to undertake. So for Henry and I, filing a trip plan means going onto the adventuresmart.ca website and filling out a very simple form identifying a responsible party who's going to wait for us to come home and report back to them. And the trip plan is super simple. Tick boxes, says what you're bringing and where you're going, and you put in the email for a responsible party and hit send, and it sends them your trip itinerary. And now let's say we had a vehicle issue and didn't come back home on time. Our responsible party would contact the RCMP and say, hey, Henry and Rob were out in this valley, they had this equipment, and they didn't come home on time. We want you to know, and maybe you can contact Search and Rescue and initiate a search for them. Our SAR managers then have the ability to review that trip plan, and it's very helpful for us because it gives us a spot to start our search from, and it also tells us the level of knowledge, skills, and experience that the person that didn't come home on time has, their capability to safely stay out in the wilderness environment. And sometimes what that means is we aren't necessarily sending all our resources out there in the middle of the night. We can wait till the next morning and go look for that person with a higher degree of safety for everyone. So trip planning is super important. That's kind of like my #1 tip is don't forget to file that trip plan.
So that was actually interesting because, I mean, I typically leave, personally, I leave a very generic thing with my wife, and I simply say, I'm heading out with Rob, we're paddling, I'm going to the Skagit Valley, and that's the end of it. But that's not really enough information. And then the other thing that I thought was what I thought would have been the first thing, and of course incorrectly so, is the type of gear we want to bring with us. A lot of commonality in, regardless of the adventure you're about to undertake, you need to carry pretty much the set standard of equipment with you, right? Mm-hmm. And I know it's a long list, and I won't task you with remember every single one of them, but what are some of the top things right off the top of the head there you can think of that you should have with you?
Yeah, so as far as gear goes, we really want to advocate consistently that people bring the 10 essentials with them. And there's a list of all 10 essentials on the adventuresmart.ca website. It's a great resource for you. It doesn't matter what recreational activity you're undertaking. If it's outside, Adventure Smart's got information on it. The 10 essentials are universal in that they're the same 10 essentials that you want to bring for every adventure. And you want to carry those 10 essentials with you everywhere you go. So if you're wandering off of a logging road into the wilderness to go take a bathroom break, those 10 essentials should be with you just in case, right? So check them out online. They're pretty basic. It's food, water, shelter, the ability to make fire, purify water, build a shelter is pretty basic stuff, but signaling device and a few other things. But check adventuresmart.ca for the 10 essentials. I put mine in a fanny pack, actually, old school MEC lightweight sill tarp fanny pack, and I can literally snap it around my waist and carry it with me wherever I need to go if I'm walking away from my larger backpack.
That's cool. Yeah, so like literally if I'm going to go scope out something over there for 30 minutes, you just snap that on and you're ready to go.
Yeah, oh yeah, we're just going to go look at that. It's 200 meters away from camp, but what happens if you break your leg and can't make it back to camp? Yeah. You have the ability to put a small shelter up, start a fire, and stay put while we're waiting for search and rescue to come after us or come find us. And that's one of the things that people often don't think about, is when they get turned around in the wilderness environment or they have a problem, they don't stay put. And we really want to advocate for people to, when you realize you're in over your head, just hug a tree, stay nice and close to that tree, find a spot where you can signal a helicopter. It's like preferably an opening that's near shelter and water, and stay put. And we'll come find you. You don't need to come and find us. What we find is if people realize they're in trouble and they start to panic, they'll keep walking and they're trying to find a way out. And often they're walking further and further away from search and rescue resources that are trying to find them. So if you stay put, you make our jobs easier as SAR folks. And the other thing just that came to mind was communications device. And batteries dying. Batteries dying. Yeah. Awesome.
Well, we'll have to make this super short, guys. Really quick.
Yeah. So in-reach device is awesome. So whatever you can bring for a communications device, whether it's an FRS radio, in-reach device, your cell phone is a communications tool. Don't use it for navigation without having a backup battery that you can plug into your cell phone. We want to reserve our cell phone to make sure that we can communicate in and out via text message. Make sure we put our cell phone on airplane mode to preserve the batteries as much as we can and save that vital resource for when we need it.
Right. All right, battery's dying. I can see it blinking away. Thanks for sticking with me. That was our first episode of Pro Tips. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to just hang out at camp a little bit longer, wait for things to dry, enjoy our last visit before heading home. And thanks for sticking with me. See you in the next one.
See you, everyone. Thanks.